Just what you have to do is you have to listen to me properly so that you can understand the topic, all right? So, as you all know, assertive is basically sharing your thoughts and feelings directly. Assertive communication is all about sharing your thoughts directly, honestly, and clearly. Whereas aggressive means to be rude. Now, there's a thin line in between being assertive and being aggressive. So, you must understand the difference between the both. That is assertive and aggressive. If you are, like too assertive, if you are too assertive, then you might sound aggressive. You might sound very rude. So, you have to maintain that balance. You can definitely share your feelings, your opinions directly and honestly. If you like something, you can definitely appreciate that. And if you don't like something, you can definitely express that as well honestly. But being aggressive is something different. When you are rude to the other person, when your tone is different, when the language you use, the words you use, it's different. And when you do not prefer to say something politely in a gentle manner, that is when you sound aggressive or you sound rude. Okay, so assertiveness is, as I had already said yesterday also, that assertiveness is mostly uh, mistaken. It's mostly mistaken as being rude or being aggressive, but that's not the story. Being assertive is a good way of communicating with people because you are honest, you are clear, you are directly saying things to the other person, you're communicating directly, you're not diplomatic. Being assertive is mainly related to not being diplomatic. So, people who are diplomatic, they will basically not be honest, they will not express their opinions directly and honestly. But assertive people will always express their opinions directly, clearly, honestly. So, assertive is definitely not being diplomatic. But as I had already mentioned, there's a thin line between being assertive and being aggressive. So, now I'm going to explain you what is assertiveness. What does assertiveness look like? Okay? Okay. The first point is speaking up. Okay? Assertive people are comfortable in sharing their feelings, ideas, thoughts openly. whereas diplomatic people aren't. Diplomatic people will never share their feelings openly. They will never share their feelings directly. So, speaking up is one characteristic of assertive people. Okay? The next one is being clear and direct. There are people who uh, who choose to speak, but they choose not to be clear and direct. Okay, there are people who choose to speak, but they do not speak clearly and directly. There are people who do not choose to speak. There are people who do not like to even speak. Okay, so people who speak up, people who can speak, who are good speakers, they are assertive people. And another characteristic of being assertive is being clear and direct. There are a lot of people, as I had said, who are good speakers, who can definitely speak, who can speak up, but they are diplomatic. They are not clear and they do not say things directly. Okay? So, being assertive, it directly means to be clear and direct. They will not like create stories, and they will not tell you things indirectly. They will basically put their point directly, and it's easier for the other person to understand what they are actually trying to say. Now, sometimes this particular thing of being clear and direct might sometimes sound rude and aggressive. How you're not supposed to do it, how you're not supposed to sound rude or aggressive, I'm going to tell you after some time. Next is the willingness to be the odd person out. If you are someone who is assertive, okay, you will not be afraid of disagreeing. You will never be afraid of disagreeing in a situation where the majority of people have agreed. Okay? Or vice versa. Suppose there are 50 people and almost 45 of 45 of them have agreed, and you are one person who has disagreed. Other four, they are confused. Now you are that odd person who has that confidence to disagree, because you are a kind of a person who believes in clarity, who likes to communicate honestly and directly. So even if the majority of people have agreed to something, you will, if you feel like that, no, I do not find it right, I think that this is not right and I do not agree to this, and then you'll also express it that you do not agree to it. So in most of the situations, you might be that odd person. You might be that odd person who is not agreeing or disagreeing like the other people who forms the majority. All right? Okay. So the next point is contributing ideas proactively. So assertive Assertive person will never sit back and analyze things. Assertive person will, actively share the idea, actively share their, actively share his or her thought, his or her idea. But people who are not assertive or who are less assertive, they might, sit back and they might think before sharing anything. But who are more assertive, people who are more assertive, they will not take not even take a minute to offer their ideas or thoughts. And that particular idea and that particular thought might help someone. So they are, assertive people are helpful as well, and they like to share ideas, they like to share their thoughts and opinions and their ideas, and they definitely, whenever they get the opportunity, they will definitely offer their ideas. The next point is defending your rights or values. So, when I had explained you assertiveness earlier, I had also mentioned that assertive people are quite aware of their rights. So, assertive people, they know what is wrong, what is right. They are quite aware of a lot of things that is happening around. Okay, so they are quite aware of their rights. This is the particular thing that I had mentioned earlier as well, that they are quite aware of their rights. Now, if if they have to stand up for something, they will definitely stand up. They are the people who will come forward. They are the people who will definitely stand for the right thing. They will definitely debate, they will definitely defend whenever it is needed, whenever it is required. Okay? If I am an assertive person, okay, and I see that my rights are violated or something wrong is going on, then I will definitely take stand for what matters the most. I will definitely take stand and I will definitely defend my rights or values. I will definitely debate. I will go forward and I'll do that. I'll make sure that I am there and I defend my rights and values. So assertive people are always ready for that. People who are not assertive, they'll be even they think that something is, that particular thing is not at all right, that should not happen. They'll not go and express, they'll not stand up for something. But assertive people will always stand up for what is right, for what matters to them. The next point is comfortable saying no. So, no is a very, it's a small word, but no is something that a lot of people cannot say. I too have a problem of saying no. I cannot comfortably say no to others. I feel that the other person will be offended or the other person will not, accept my no, or maybe the other person will be hurt or the other person will, feel bad if I say a no. But saying no is an art. You must know how to say a no. N-O, no. You must know how to say a no. Okay? The art of saying no. The assertive people, they know that particular art of saying no, and they can comfortably say no. Whenever they feel like, they'll definitely say a yes. But whenever it is not required, whenever they think that it is not worthy, it is baseless, then immediately they will say no, they'll refuse. And this particular behavior might disappoint others, and this particular behavior might uh, look like an aggressive behavior. But accepting the no, accepting no is also an art. Both saying a no is also an art, and accepting the no is also an art. There are people who cannot accept no. There are people who will take it personally. Who will take it personally. Okay? So sometimes we are bound to say yes even if we don't want to because of certain things. But assertive people will definitely not think of the consequences, and if they feel that the task that is given or the request that has been placed is not at all worthy, is baseless, and is something that they cannot do, then they'll definitely refuse. They'll definitely say a no. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of assertive people. This is how being assertive look like. If you are assertive, then definitely you will have these qualities. Now let us see, how can you keep from being aggressive? So as I had said, as I had already mentioned, that there's a thin line, there's only a thin line in between being assertive and being aggressive. Now I am going to tell you how to keep you from being aggressive. How you will not sound aggressive. You are assertive, you can be assertive, but you are also not sounding aggressive. You are also not, looking aggressive. You must be aware of your tone and body language. This is a very important factor. You must be aware of your tone and body language. The way you communicate with people, your tone, your body language, your expressions, your gestures, they play a very big role in the process of communication. So that is why you must be aware of your tone, your body language. Now, tone plays a very big role to, differentiate assertive and being aggressive. Okay? You have refused something. If you refuse politely, gently, nicely, in a very good manner, if you use a very nice tone, then of course the other person might understand. But if you just say a no very rudely, in a very, bad tone, if your volume is too high, if your tone is not good, then definitely you will sound aggressive. So you must take care of your tone and of your body language. Okay? Assertiveness is all about being confident. When you're confident, when you are a confident person, you can express your thoughts easily. You can say no. You can fight for yourself. But at the same time, you also have to maintain certain decency. You cannot just shout and scream and all this. You cannot do these things. So, it's necessary to maintain a good tone and a good body language. Body language includes your body posture, your gesture, your expressions. So you must be aware of all these things, especially your tone. Okay? If you say something in a very good tone, okay, even if you say something that is not too appealing or that is not too, good for the other person, but yet the other person will not be offended because of your tone, because the tone that you have used is quite good. So the other person will not be offended. But if you say something good, even something good in a very, rude way, in a very bad tone, then of course the other person will be offended. So that's why you must maintain a good tone. ठीक है? सुर, हम जो बोलते हैं उसका सुर, ठीक है? गुस्से में हम अलग तरीके से बोलते हैं. When we are angry, our tone changes. When we are happy, our tone changes. When we are sad, again it changes. So we should be aware of it and we should try to modulate it accordingly. All right? Next point is to not interrupt or speak over someone. Okay? Being assertive does not mean that you have the right to interrupt or you have the right to speak over someone. Being assertive is being confident, being clear, being honest, it's all about being aware of your own rights. You have the ability to stand for your rights, fight for yourself, but it does not mean that you get a license to interrupt others, to insult others. Okay? Now, if you do any one of these things, if you insult, if you interrupt, if you speak over someone, then that will basically, your assertiveness will basically turn into aggressiveness. Okay? So, you're not supposed to do this particular thing. That means you're not supposed to interrupt or speak over someone. Whenever you're communicating, even if you're an assertive person, even if you believe in communicating directly, you should not interrupt when the other person is saying something. That means you're trying to dominate the other person and you are not meant to do that. You cannot dominate the other person. You should also be a good listener, because assertive communication is also about being listening, being a good listener. Okay? So you also have to be a good listener. You should listen to the other person properly. Of course, you can definitely express, if you do not agree to something, you can definitely express your disagreement. Of course, you can disagree, but disagreeing doesn't mean that you'll interrupt or you'll speak over someone or you'll dominate the other person. Okay? Next is offer criticism thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Okay, this is another very important point. People who are assertive, they are comfortable giving critical feedbacks. Okay? Now, criticism can be positive, it can be negative as well. Okay, criticism, if taken positively, can really improve the performance of the people, and when it is taken negatively, it can definitely ruin the life of people. Okay? Now, if you are someone who is like criticizing the other person without any reason, then of course you are not doing the right thing. Okay? But if you are criticizing the other person, or if you are giving some critical feedbacks to the other person because it is required, because it is mandatory, then of course you can do it. But you should always offer criticism after you think, you should first of all think, and then you should offer criticism. You can definitely give critical feedbacks directly, but carefully. You have to be very careful when you give such kind of feedbacks. First of all, think how you should tell about that particular thing, how you should uh, express that particular thing to the other person. Think and then say, and say it, properly. Express it properly, carefully, so that the other person is not offended. If you impulsively offer criticism, if you impulsively uh, give critical feedback, then the other person will definitely be offended, and that will definitely be that will definitely be rude. It will be aggressive. It will not be assertive. Rather than it will be aggressive. In that case, you will sound aggressive, you will sound rude. So even if you have to give certain critical feedback to someone, you have to definitely think about it properly. You have to plan how you are supposed to say, and then deliver it in a gentle way, in a very polite manner, carefully. When you offer impulsive feedback, it will demotivate the other person. Okay? So that's how you can stop yourself from being aggressive. The next point is ask questions. When you are communicating with someone, when you are having a conversation with someone, try to ask certain questions. Try to inquire about certain things. If somebody is, if you are having a discussion over something, if you are having a discussion on a particular topic with someone, and you are giving your and being assertive, you are directly and honestly giving your opinion, sharing your opinions, ideas and thoughts, and the other person is also doing it accordingly, according to his according to his choice. Now, as I had already mentioned, that sometimes being honest, being clear might sound rude. So just to avoid that particular situation, to avoid being rude or aggressive, what you can do is you can place certain questions. You can ask questions so that you can help each other to understand each other from this different perspectives, and so that you can have a good time with one another. So asking questions definitely will help you to understand one another, and will also help you to understand the particular thing from different perspective. So and you'll be able to figure out a lot of ideas, and that's how you can avoid being aggressive. You can definitely share your own opinions, ideas directly, but if you ask question to the other person, he'll also get to know about his opinion, his ideas. He'll get to know his perspective. He'll also be able to understand his perspective, and he'll also you know uh, mm, uh, they'll also be able to build a good relationship with that other person. So asking questions, it's a very good way to understand one another, and also to suggest alternative ideas, and also to avoid being aggressive. Okay, so that's how you can definitely be assertive, and you will not sound aggressive. The last point is leave space for others. When you are discussing something with someone. Okay, when you're having a discussion with someone, you should definitely you should definitely give the opportunity to the other person as well to say. So you must give him or her that particular space. If you are the only person who is sharing his or her own ideas, his or her thoughts, then the other person will not get a chance, and you will also sound dominating. Okay, if you're not giving the opportunity, if you're not giving any opportunity to the other person to say anything, then definitely you are someone who's dominating the whole conversation. So that will definitely look aggressive, that will definitely say that will definitely portray that you are an aggressive person, because you are not at all providing any opportunity to the other person to share his or her opinion. So that's why when you are having a discussion, if you are the speaker, okay, now because I'm the speaker, I'm delivering a lecture, so you don't have any room until and unless I don't ask you anything, until and unless I do not like provide you that space, isn't it? So you don't have any room to interact with me at present, at this moment, because I'm delivering a lecture. Of course you can do it after some time, but discussing something and delivering a speech or a lecture is totally different. A conversation and a lecture is different from one another. So when you are discussing something with someone, then you must give that particular opportunity to the other person to speak. So you should be a good speaker, at the same time you should also be a good listener. So you should be able to balance in between the two. So these are the ways of uh, not being aggressive. You can definitely be assertive, but if you take care of these things, you will not be aggressive. You will not sound aggressive or will not look aggressive. So that's all. That's all about being assertive without being aggressive. So, any doubts, students? Do you want to ask me anything? Any questions? Have you all understood?
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Any questions? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so because most of the students are absent, so I think I will tell you regarding the assignment in the next class. All right, because again I have to repeat it. So that's why it will
Okay.
be better if I, tell about the assignment in the next class. So that's all
Okay,
for
ma'am.
today. I will share the notes. Do let me know if you have any doubts in the next class. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.